Hello and welcome back to SJ Cartier Limited Convos. And today I'm going to give some little sales tips as to how to draw attention to your website. Because recently I was watching a reseller's video and he was stating that after 8 years he is now leaving eBay and deciding to actually build his website. And I wished him good luck with his venture and basically said that I felt the same why I left eBay. And then under my comment, I got a response from someone who asked, how are you getting customers to your site? It's a route I'm interested in, but fear I will need to spend more than I earn to be noticed. I only went on a clear out, not to resell, but I don't trust third party stores not to have their customers rip me off, as what I want rid of is now considered collectible going back to 1980, video games and other media essentially. These are the little stories, so can you see it? Yeah, and that was the other little commenting on the video. And I basically responded. I said, feel free to send me a message via social media and I'll answer all your questions, or I could do a video explaining this via my channel where I share some of my tips. Although my immediate thought wasn't fast sales, but building awareness for my business and categories I sell and also collecting. You seem like you're looking at fast sales, which is where the third party apps are useful. Depending on categories you sell in, depends on which ones you would choose. So his response was, I would certainly, I, I would certainly watch a video. I'm in no rush to read everything quickly, i.e. I won't be sat for hours listing items, maybe add a dozen items one day a week with batch dispatch of sales one day a week, likely the same day as listing. I've literally somewhere in the region of 1,000 to 2,000 items to sell that I no longer want taking up my available storage space. So as I said to you previously, with SJ Cartier Limited, I am not an expert in any of these fields, but as I have been in these fields, I do have a lot of tips and ideas, and it helps when you actually give me a bit of understanding of what you have and what your actual aim is. So my honest reply to you, mate, honestly, is I would focus on which third party app would be better for you. And the reason I'm saying that is because you said you are looking to sell video games and other media. You may find that building a website and focusing on building a website, which may cost a lot to then build, and then you sell your 2,000 items and now you don't want to sell, you've now got a blank website. Yes, you can do anything you want with it, but if your sole aim is just to get rid of these items and not to continue as a business or build a business, I would advise auction houses. I would advise to deciding which third party apps you feel more comfortable using or trialing to use, because I'd say building a website is a long-term focus. And when you think of it long-term, you understand the steps you're going to have to go through. And when you understand the steps you go through, you don't want to go through these steps just for 2, 3, 4 years of sales. So the steps you are to take if you decide to want to go with your website is, first of all, decide what you are selling and the best way for your website to be. Are you trying to basically sell, sorry, let me go into it. What are the routes to getting customers to my website? So first of all, why do you want one? You want to sell your collectible items. So obviously you need to build a website that you can list a variety of products on. Once you've started listing your products, before you even start listing your products, I would say building a social media awareness, whether that be by Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn. Just start getting some type of social media awareness of who you are and who your business is and your business name. This will then further help you in the future when your website has your products actually on there. And once you've start doing that, I'd say start sharing products and collections of what you actually have. So use each one for what they are best for. So Facebook, I say, is more a personal thing. So you can use Facebook Marketplace and use that to bring customers to your website. You could post on for Facebook Marketplace. You could post in Facebook groups. You could create your own Facebook page. You now can also go on Instagram and share pictures and reels of the collections and products you have and where they can buy them from or when they can buy them from. So when you actually have your website now, you will connect your shop to your Facebook and your Instagram, which will allow you to tag products on Facebook and Instagram. If you go to my Instagram now, you will see you can click certain pictures of items I have available, and buyers will be able to go and click that product and go to my website to buy that product. Obviously now, because I am in the UK, there are different restrictions for me in the UK as there is to people in the USA. So now if I was in the USA, customers can actually buy directly from Instagram via that eBay shop. At this moment in time in the UK, we are only able to allow customers to go directly to our website that is actually connected to our Facebook and our Instagram, and that would be via Facebook Commerce. So you build your social media awareness. TikTok is something you can use also to promote your products, because there's something that I think the main start, I'd say, when you've got your website is obviously building awareness. And currently, the best awareness that you can get in abundance is actually social media. Word of mouth is more worthy, I say, than social media. So if someone tells you about a business, you are more likely to spend with them than you are via social media. But there are a lot more people that may see you via social media than there is people that will initially start to use word of mouth, because it's something you will realize, unless you're connected in certain fields already, when you actually come to building a website, you, as you say, you need to attract people to your website. So you need to get people to understand who you are. You need to get people to be able to trust the website. You need to get people to be aware of you. So social media is very much a very good tactic that you will use whether you're selling on eBay or you have your website. And this is something that I want also to be in your mindset when you're thinking like this, is everything you was doing or plan to do while you have an eBay shop, you would do the exact same thing but for your website. So the same way you will promote your products to customers online via your social media, via word of mouth, via business cards, via other streaming things that allow you to then make customers aware of your business, then that's what you will do. But you will then forward everyone to your website. Hello.
So, would you say, is it a good idea to have your things on all platforms or just certain ones?
Well, it all depends on the person, I'd say. So, depending on your business, I would always say it depends on which platform would suit you more. So, I will say, for example, construction, you will be able to show you building a lot of things on TikTok, a lot of things on social media, Facebook, Instagram. But then I think with things like that, you may be better on LinkedIn and manual labor social media platforms, if that makes sense, or business platforms that are like Indeed, but it's people as tradesmen and people are hunting for tradesmen and you are a person on there. So it all depends on what your business is. So for me, even I've never been on TikTok, and I've always said to myself I would never go on TikTok. And my partner says to me, why do I never do it, for example? And one of the reasons I don't actually use TikTok, even though I know there's millions of people on there, even though I know I can connect my shop to there just like I've connected my shop to Instagram and Facebook, I feel like TikTok doesn't represent the person I am or the brand I am. So although I like to be fun and gamesy, I just like to be professional in that's the product, that's where you can buy it, and you trust who I am. I don't feel like I have to do a song and a dance about what I actually do and the service I do, because I feel like over the time frame that I've run my business, I've proved this in consistency. So this is another thing that will bring people to your website, being consistent, whether that was you having an eBay shop first, or whether that is now you just starting out and everybody starting to realize they can buy from you and they can trust you, and they may feel the deals are better there than they can find elsewhere. So another very good tactic, and a reason why, because my comment that made him respond to me was explaining basically why I came off eBay and congratulating him for actually making that decision. Because I realized for me on eBay, the amount of money I was spending on my eBay shop a month, the amount of money I was spending on products promoting the shop, the amount of money I was spending on the shop, the amount of money I was spending to promote the shop, the amount of money I was spending to promote individual products, the amount of money that was taken after fees, I realized that amount was costing quite a lot, even though the return was a bit higher than what it was on my website. So what I decided was to use that exact same money and use that as on Google Ads. Now, with Google Ads, you obviously have to set up your Google Merchant Center. You have to set up Google Business, Google Ads, and set up your Microsoft advertising accounts. Set up Google Search Console and get your website connected to every search network, just like eBay has. But the difference is, which is what we're trying to build to get to, is not we don't have a platform where millions of customers just come to search and we are lucky for them to find us. We actually have to push this website and this brand to them for them to see us, to be aware of us. So that money that you are spending to promote and get other customers on eBay to see you is the same money you would average to use for your website and get that same return, hopefully. And it's not just the return in the short term, and which is why I'm trying to let the person who said this as well, who I'm answering, as well as you, the rest of listeners, subscribers, it also matters about your time frame. So if you're trying to bring people to bring awareness via Google Ads, you need to know what you're looking to do. Are you trying to get your product sold immediately? Because you will use your money to use those promotions to try and sell individual products. Or you could be using that money to bring viewers and shoppers, possible shoppers, to your website that will be aware of your website today and may then be aware of you when they are looking for a product in 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, because there's something they remember about your business name, there's something they remember about your website, there's something they remember about the product that you have or the products that you sell. So using Google Ads is very much a decision depending on what you're selling. So if you're to build a website impersonally with the aim of trying to sell those products, 2,000 products in 2 to 5 years, I'd say, your aim is just to use your money on Google Ads and Microsoft advertising, and you're not promoting the website, you're promoting individual products that you think are very rare, that should be highlighted, or that customers may just want to buy instantly if that product comes to their face. Then you obviously have to come with your business standards. So I'm not going to go into business standards because, as you said, you did say you want to ship once a week, you want to list once a week. Listing once a week is a repetitive technique that will bring customers to your website. I have seen over the times when I was listing every week and every month regularly, a lot more people were seeing the website because my website was already connected to the Google applications that I mentioned earlier. So any new web page, any new product was being sent to the net. And if anybody was searching for it, then my name, my website, my product may come up in that search engine or in that AI information that we have set up within the Google settings. I'm not going to go into the delve into how to do each settings. I'm just going to tell you the platforms because obviously that would be a longer video. But obviously, as I say, the steps basically are quite simple. What you would do as you would if you had an eBay shop. It's just you need to focus on you are now building a brand. So when you are building a brand, you need to understand what type of brand you are building, what type of business website you are looking to have, and how you aim to maintain it. So you will first create your social media platforms, decide on what social media platforms suit you. For me, I decided TikTok's not for me. I decided Facebook, Instagram. I have used X and I now use YouTube. I also have used LinkedIn. So I have used these other social media platforms. I also have used the third-party applications whilst I was building my website, whilst my website was first initialized. And in fact, when I first had my website and I was selling on eBay, I always had more products on my website than I did on my eBay. Because as I say, it's all about focusing on bringing people to the website and making them aware of the website, making them be able to trust you. And you do that with social media awareness. Choose the platforms. You then connect your Google accounts, your business emails to your Google search consoles, business, Google Merchant Center, Google Ads. You set it up with Microsoft advertising. You always stay within your margins with your Google Ads. Make sure you set up your margins. You use third-party apps to start to build awareness also of your business and the products you sell, because it will be hard to gain that trust initially just via social media. You may need to prove that you are able to sell, ship, facilitate the customers, because it also, as I say, it all depends what you're selling. In the fields I sell in collectibles. In collectibles, a lot of collectors like to trust where they are buying before they buy. Some collectors may pay more for an item from someone else because they trust it is going to come to them, whereas they can't trust it is going to happen over here, even though it is half the price. So as a collector, you don't just go by what the product and the price is, you go also by the service, the business. If you're a builder, it's the same thing. People ain't just going to go and ask you to build them a house and they've got your services in the best. Even if you're 50% cheaper than the person who's double your price, whose service is perfect. So always focus on your brand awareness. Depending on your business, depends on which way you would go. Focus on routine ways of attracting customers. That could be business cards. So that could be sending business cards to every customer when you are started selling on eBay or whatnot, or Vinted, or and Shopify. Not Shopify, because Shopify is taken away from you doing your own website and being similar to an eBay, but making you feel like you're not eBay, if that makes sense. So we're thinking about building a website, having your own domain and paying for your hosting, because this is where you get to do all these extra little fancy tricks that some people may not be able to do, if that makes sense. So having business cards, sending them to customers every time, dropping them in local events, actually bringing them around to local businesses, other businesses that sell the same products possibly that you could collaborate with. Speaking to family or friends, of course, getting them to share your social networks, getting them to hand out your business cards. It's basically doing the same routines you would do, as I say, if you were selling on eBay. The only difference is you need to remember the whole aim is a brand awareness of your website, because you have to think in the first few years nobody cared about eBay. Now, how many people focus and may primarily only buy on eBay? The aim is to build that same brand awareness, that same brand trust, that same consistent adding of products, and keep pushing, never stop letting people see, because unlike eBay, people may just find you without you doing anything. With having a website, those ads will count a lot for you, whether you're doing them still for 2-3 years later or you're not. And it's something you need to realize, ads are very powerful. Even for myself, I'm reminding myself now I need to do more ads, because it's so powerful that we all know. We see McDonald's, one of the biggest companies, showing ads. We see all types of ads all the time of multi-billionaire companies. So that just shows you how important ads are, even more important than social media sometimes, because the real spenders sometimes are the ones that see the ads. Sometimes the social media followers are just there for a social media following, trying to be part of a something, whether they like, share you, they're just trying to be part of something. They're not always interested in supporting. Something I realized, especially when you're selling collectibles, for example, and you sell collectibles and there's variety of other collectors selling collectibles. Not every seller of collectibles wants to support every seller of collectibles. They want to support people who are just trying to get rid of their collectibles, if that makes sense, because that's part of their business. No one's judging them. That's part of my business. Sometimes I can't buy unless I want it. I can't buy from a collector unless I want it, if that makes sense, because sometimes buying from some collectors, they want market value for everything. You might think that the same with my website, but then it's also how we market it. As I say, you add techniques, you change your business to make your website even more marketable, if that makes sense. So fast shipping, you're saying you want to ship once a week. I ship fast immediately every day. So that's something that will bring people to your website. Techniques I'm giving you. I now add best offers on my website, so it doesn't matter if the price may be more than the customer wants to pay. They can send an offer. They can send an offer for one item. They can send an offer for every single item on there if they wanted to, and make a deal on every single item. I've set it up so you can find my Google business online, and you can find my Google products online, whether you are using Google Lens, whether you are searching just randomly in the search area. You can find, if you was to take certain Google Lens pictures, you may find my social media post. You may find, if you search just search SJ Cartier Limited now, you will find my social media links. These are all techniques you use to bring customers to your website, because as we realize, it's all about a trail, if that makes sense, because it's internet. And the more people that just are aware, the more it spreads, just like social media. But you need to realize this, your website expands further than social media. So you need to start with where the website is, the domain, and that's what you're promoting. So the key trick basically is have social media awareness, whether it's one social media platform or all of them. Just decide what works for you and what you're able to consistently maintain. Keep them. Even if you don't want to maintain it for too long, just maintain it for a few months and have it there. So if people did search, they may want to find you. They may find you. It shows you brand awareness. Make sure your account, your website is set up with all the Google business applications that allow your website to be connected to them and take advantage of Google ads. Do the same with Microsoft, do the same with Yahoo, do the same with all the search engines possible. Make sure you add a variety of ways to contact you, and make sure you show your, what's the word, your familiarity, and show your, what's the word, your welcomeness, whether that's your social media, whether that's your out in public on a normal day, because these are all opportunities to promote your website. So always consistently focus on promoting, whether that's free promotions, whether that's doing it on your ads, whether you're just applying for a job and you're talking about your website. There's always a way to promote your website. Whether people want to know about it now, it makes no difference. You're thinking long term. So people will be aware of it in 5 years. And always remember, if you've got the business name, if you've got everything connected, if you've got the products, if you've got the price, if you've got the time and effort to put in to sell these products. So I do hope that actually answered your question, mate. I know I've kind of rabbited on, I know I kind of delved, but it's quite simple really. Ads, social media, word of mouth, family and friends, consistent, regular business ethics, and everything and will come with patience and consistency. So thank you for joining SJ Cartier Limited Convos today, and I hope you all have a good day.